the Betrayal Law is a very interesting character. I'll keep it real right now. Though I do want to say this, he is the captain of the Heart Pirates. He is allied with the main character of the entire One Piece story, Monkey D. Luffy, the man who will become the Pirate King. Yes, I said it. I'm sorry, anyone who's trying to become Pirate King. Luffy will become Pirate King. But something I've been thinking about recently is Law is a character in which right now he's allied to Luffy and the Pirate Alliance, but will there ever be a certain betrayal? Now, Law always was an important character from the beginning of his introduction. He's one of the worst generations, the supernovas of 2 years ago. His initial bounty was one of the 5 highest bounties on the entire Sabaody Shabundi arc. Well, I can't really say that because really he was part of that. I'm talking about like these supernovas. We know Shaki mentioned him amongst characters like Luffy, Eustace Kid, X-Drake, Hawkins. So definitely these 5 were the ones that were highlighted 2 years ago on the arc of Sabaody Shabundi. I'm not too sure how you pronounce it, but I do want to say this. Now his bounty is tied with Monkey D. Luffy at 500 million. So I don't know why I said million, but 500 million berries. So definitely crazy stuff is coming for this character. I also can't forget to mention that he has now become a warlord after the time skip and has now stopped being a warlord after the time skip. We know the reason how he became a warlord was very epic, was very badass. 100 hearts delivered to the Marines, the Rocky Port incident. We saw Smoker explaining it, and just Punk Hazard in general. When he was a warlord on Punk Hazard, it was a very cool arc. We saw moments of him fighting Smoker, Virgo, and just crazy. His cutting the freaking mountain was an amazing feat. Law gets a W. Now, if you've been following my videos for a long time, you would know that my initial plan for Law when it comes to big fights in the future or near the end of the story was Eustace Kid. I feel like Eustace Kid and Law have so much when it comes to hints of them fighting. We know Law stuck the middle finger at Eustace Kid. We know Law and is really pissed off when Eustace Kid was downplaying him, and just they've been going back and forth, and they even actually fought a pacifista together. So I definitely believe that Eustace Kid and Law, these characters, one being not that intelligent but very crazy, and one being very intelligent and very logical, going at it, I thought these had a lot of how would I say this, backing to it. But actually I'm thinking, what if there's actually another fight? Yeah, just me thinking back on Law's Dull Fruit ability, his fruit ability, the Opie no Mi, Room, Shambles. I just love how he can teleport and everything like that. But then I was thinking about Gear 4th and how fast Gear 4th was in the Doflamingo fight. And I was thinking, man, this would be such a fun battle between Law and Luffy. It would be crazy because we got a battle genius in Luffy, who we saw Luffy, how he has experience, how the things he has done, like the things we've experienced from Luffy, the things he has done in the like quickest of times, the Gear 2nd, Gear 3rd, like he is a battle genius and he's been fighting his whole entire life. And then we have Law, who's just a genius. He's a doctor and he's a very intelligent character. So when you have a battle genius versus a very intelligent character, when it comes to strategies in battle, it's gonna be a crazy matchup. I just want to see Law using his fruit and Luffy using his fruit, and just the Opie no Mi versus the Gear 4th has been stuck in my mind for a long time. Now, Law's kind of his big goal, his big dream, his initial plan was to mess everything up for Doflamingo. You know the flashback between him and Doflamingo, Rosanate's death. He really wanted to have Doflamingo take a huge L and have Kaido finish the job. We know that didn't really end off well, and his backup plan was him not surviving. And that's the crazy thing about it, because when he actually went on the Zou arc, the Zou Island, Sonisha, when he saw his crew members, Beppo, John Bart, like we saw his crew members, Penguin, I definitely feel like he told them like he didn't expect to live. He didn't expect to make it to Zou. That's what he pretty much said to, I think there's Robin or someone. I'm not too sure which Straw Hat Pirate he said it to, but the fact that he meets his crew members, he did not expect to live. But when he did expect to live, he did have a certain dream. Now, jumping all the way back to Punk Hazard, I feel like I have to talk about this controversial battle, this controversial debate that's been happening in the One Piece community. I've been really, how do I say this? I've been really passionate about this debate, but a lot of people believe that Law did not use Haki, Armin Haki versus Virgo, and I believe this is very blasphemous, because I'll tell you guys right now, first of all, Virgo used full body Armin Haki and he was running at Law, and Doflamingo did state that Virgo's Haki will get through Law's ability. But we also seen Law destroyed Virgo. Law one-shotted Virgo. But later on the next arc, Law tries the same move versus Doflamingo, and Doflamingo grabs Law's sword and actually blocks the ability. I believe that's kind of showcased that what Doflamingo said on Punk Hazard and what he did on Dressrosa is if you have a stronger arm in hockey than the fruit user, you can actually stop their fruit and it'll just be a hockey battle. That's why Doflamingo's hand was bleeding a little bit. It just showcased that the fruit was gone and it was just a regular sword. That's why when Doflamingo grabbed it and squeezed it with his hand was bleeding. This is something that I thought was clear cut, but a lot of people say that Law does not use hockey. He just uses his fruit ability. And then I'm like, whoa, even in the Dressrosa arc, we see Law use hockey multiple times. He uses hockey to block Doflamingo's strings with his arm. So I definitely feel like this was very controversial, but I feel like there was no reason for it to be controversial. Law, a certain character like Law, a top Worst Generation member, of course he used arm in hockey, and this is my take on the whole subject at hand. But speaking of abilities, when it comes to Law, I have to mention Gamma Knife, because Gamma Knife was kind of his gear forth, his next level transformation. Even though it was an attack, it was no joke. And let's be honest here, when it comes to Law, his biggest problem when fighting is stamina. He's been stating this the whole time, how he has to keep his stamina to actually have a crazy battle, and that's his biggest weakness. I do definitely feel like Gamma Knife, in a sense, is a very hacked ability which counters his stamina thing. So if he gets a Gamma Knife off, the battle can end quickly. But we know Doflamingo's a monster. The string ability, what he could do with it was magnificent. Now, I talked about how Law had another dream, a bigger dream after the whole Doflamingo situation of taking Doflamingo out. His biggest dream is actually going after the One Piece. And the reason why I say this is because during the pre-time skip, we know he saved Luffy from Marineford, and he had Luffy, he did a lot of crazy stuff to Luffy when it comes to helping him survive. And Luffy has already stated that he's indebted to Law for that. But he does state that his dream is to go after the One Piece. And when his crew is yelling at him before they enter the Grand Line, let's enter the Grand Line, let's enter the Grand Line, Law states, yeah, the One Piece is not going anywhere. Let those idiots fight it out and we'll just be patient. And I'll tell you right now, Law, this is why I call Law a genius, because patience is one of the most important things, anything in life. You have to have patience. If you don't have patience, you just give up. You could mess up your entire future. So patience is very important. This, I feel like, is a very cool moment. And the fact that his main goal is the One Piece, we know whose other main goal is the One Piece and trying to become Pirate King. Another reason why I think the betrayal, Law's betrayal to Luffy is very gonna happen, because we know there's parallels, and a lot of people don't like talking about parallels in One Piece, but I feel like there's parallels to Whitebeard when it comes to Law. And we know Whitebeard and Roger had a very good relationship. We saw the stuff that happened in Wano with Whitebeard and Roger. We saw the stuff that happened when right before Roger was about to die, he told him about the secrets of the Will of D. These guys have a really good relationship, but they also have fought crazy battles. When Whitebeard sees Shanks, he's like, wow, my scar hurts from your captain, pretty much. And they're good friends, but they still had some serious battles. It makes me think, what's Law and Luffy are kind of cool, they're kind of good friends, they've been through a lot, but they should have a serious battle, because they are two of like the top 5 Worst Generation members, and I feel like that these parallels kind of is giving some evidence to it. I also want to say this before I talk about the actual way I see this betrayal happening, is Nico Robin. In the Punk Hazard arc, Nico Robin states that Pirate Alliances are filled with betrayals. And I'll tell you guys right now, I personally believe Law has been cool with the Alliance, but how long will that last? I've been seeing him slowly try to distance himself from Luffy, try to go his own way. We've been seeing this slowly, and I feel like after Kaido and the whole Kaido war is finished, what's next for Law? I think Law will go separate ways. I think Luffy will go separate ways, but I do think they'll meet again. And when they do meet, it won't be as friends. It will be as foes. 2 members of the Will of D. Yes, I have to mention it. 2 members of the Will of D. And I'll tell you guys right now, when it comes to the Battle of D's, we've seen it. First of all, let me say this, pause. But we've seen it when it comes to the Battle of D's. We saw Monkey D. Dragon and Marshall D. Teej. We didn't see the actual fight, but we know they did battle. And with Luffy and Law both being a member of the D family, I could see some crazy stuff happening here that Oda sets up. We know, I feel like the 2 situations of them, Law's betrayal happening, is either Law randomly attempts to take out Luffy because he's close to the One Piece, and it's just a crazy battle between the Hard Pirates and the Straw Hat Pirates, and I don't think it's gonna be too long, but I think it's gonna be very epic. I think the longest battle is gonna be Luffy versus Law, of course, and it's gonna be the most battle, which a lot of emotional aspect to it because of the relationship prior to that. Or I could see a situation where Luffy awakens his fruit, and when Luffy awakens his fruit, since he awakens his fruit for the first time, he goes ballistic. He goes nuts. He goes crazy. He doesn't know how to control his fruit, and he just has a rage and anger, and it forces Law's hand. And it kind of reminds me of the beginning of the One Piece story, Whiskey Peak, when Luffy was angry at Zoro because he didn't know what Zoro did. They didn't have to explain it and everything like that. So I think that Law and Luffy might have a fight like that, but a more serious side of it, not Nami stopping the fight out of nowhere. And I will say this, Law will try to put him down. These two top First Generation members will go ham. And if it's near the end of the story, we know they'll be on the level of Yonko. So the fight will have a destructive capability, island level, and even more. We know Whitebeard had this power to destroy the world. Imagine two top tier characters going at it. Yeah, we saw what happened to Punk Hazard, where Luffy and Law first met. Poetic? Who knows? But tell me your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think of Betrayal of Law? Do you think Law will betray Luffy? Do you think there won't be no betrayal because they won't be in an alliance when they do fight? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section, because I know you guys are very big fans of both these characters, Law and Luffy. And I want to say this, yo, what are your thoughts on a Law Luffy battle? I know a lot of people are fans of it, and I know a lot of people hate it. But me personally, at first I wasn't like thinking about it, but now like seeing both of their fruits and how they use it, a genius and a battle genius going at it, yeah, a Hack's fruit and a fruit that wasn't really that Hack's going at it, both of them are the